Ooh, countdown.
Oh, that's fancy. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Do a Podcast.
Another episode, and I am
Another,
Anthony.
yeah, and I'm Ryan. And as you can tell, it's a little bit different. Actually, it looks like it's
Maybe.
not that different for everybody else. Maybe for us, because apparently we are live. So that's fun. Uh,
Oh, okay. It's no
yeah,
pressure, guys. No pressure.
I mean, we don't edit really, anyways. So
Yeah.
we're gonna ignore it because we can't see chat. So you know, uh, so if anybody wondering that listens to the podcast is wondering, we do video. Also, you can check us out at Let's Twitch a Podcast on Twitch. Let's do podcast 22 on YouTube, and let's do a podcast on Facebook. And apparently, we'll be doing it live now.
Yeah.
Who
I
knew?
guess that's how this is gonna work now.
Yeah.
I like learning things as we go. It's always
Yeah, listen, I'm learning too. We decided to try something a little bit different, and WoW sure is different. So
yeah, all the brand new buttons. But I do like
that's
buttons, so
I do like buttons. But
yeah.
anyways, as you guys know, our avid listeners, we did skip a week. We had things going on, so we're like, look,
Mhm.
we're just gonna skip and come back refreshed, nice and refreshed for everybody. Um, so Anthony, how was your time off? Did you do anything fun?
I went to Sourfest at Martin House this past
Ooh.
weekend, so I enjoyed some sours at Sourfest. They did a great showing as they do always this year. In the past, I think this is my third year going to Sourfest over at Martin House. I always great sours every year. This year they had a few sour, I think it was sour seltzers, but I gotta say they had a few ones, a few that I really liked, a few that I thought were interesting, and then there was one that I was just a little confused by. I don't remember the name of it though, which I'm bummed by. But there was so they had the ones that they had. There was one called Sonic the Milthog, which is interesting choice for a summer time beer fest because it was 100 and some odd degrees outside. But it was cherry and vanilla, and it was a dark beer. So like a dark sour, but that wasn't the only dark sour they had, which is really interesting. But it was like in every way, it was a sour except it had the lactose and vanilla flavoring in there. They had a bomb pop seltzer that was the bomb diggity. I really enjoyed that. They had their Tiger Blood. I think that was a seltzer as well. Also very good. I think four of them. I think I didn't get the fourth one. There was one, however, I can't remember the name of it. I wish I could, but it was a sour with cranberry, and it was so. I don't know how to describe it. It's like a mix between a stout and a cranberry sour. I don't know the name of this beer. I wish I did. It was at the outside tent. It was the most interesting thing I had in that it was like just like a combination stout and sour. It's like is there such thing as a sour stout? If there is, I think I
Uh,
found it.
yeah, I think so. I feel like we have. I feel like there is.
Yeah. Well, I
Maybe
had
not.
that with cranberry, so I think I was joking. I was joking with my wife who got it, and we were saying it should be how the Thanksgiving beer tastes later this year. If and when they do that again, I could do without the sage in that beer. So, but great They had Sour Patch kids eating contest, pickle eating contest. I did not participate in any of that. I think that is for much braver folk than I. I got a table in the shade, so I wasn't being blasted by the sun, which was nice. But yeah, great time. Martin House Summerfest. I can't wait to do it again next year. And I think they got another festival coming up here shortly that I'll talk about in a little bit. Ryan, how did you enjoy your time off?
Well, my father actually came up and visited us, so we hung out with him, showed
Nice.
him around, and did the things when people come visit. Uh, and besides that, just rest. Like just I don't know what it is, but man, I've just been so tired lately. I got uh I forgot actually what it's called, but it's pretty much it looks like a mouth guard in a sense, but it's supposed to help with your sleep apnea. Uh so I just this is my first week trying that, and wow, it's weird and uncomfortable, but apparently it'll help
Is it
me
just like
sleep.
being
So
intubated every night?
yeah, it's just like it really hugs your teeth and everything, and it's just
Yeah.
really strange. Like it's not like it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just strange. So, well, I feel like once I do get used to that, I'll actually sleep better. So, looking
Yeah.
forward to that part. But yeah, besides that, I mean, it's kind of just been same old, same old. Not, I feel like not a lot is really happening yet. So,
And what are you gonna do when it
yeah,
gets to be rainy season up there, man?
I can't wait. I mean, weather's already really nice. Like we sit outside almost, or at least go outside every day because it's like, oh, we can actually go outside tonight and die. But
Yeah,
yeah, I love rainy season.
feel like every time I go outside, since it's been like a freaking heat wave ever since like mid-June here, I feel like it's that scene in Terminator 2 when she holds the fence and the nuclear bomb goes off. It's just
Yeah.
like the heat just blasts away. So I've been feeling that pain for the 40. So, and it's going to continue on through mid-August. Your weather at 7.
Oh yeah. No, it looks like it's not coming down anytime soon for y'all. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, let's talk about beer. I can't believe we've gone this long without even talking about what we're drinking. So, Anthony, what are you sipping on?
Oh, I am. You'll remember this one. I haven't had this one since you and I went to Beer Fest several years ago. It's an old friend, the Full Grown series from Tups, but this is the Full Grown Scalawag.
Mm,
Yar. I
I
remember this
think
was one of the beers
that's
that we got from the Tups tent there at the at Texas Big Texas Beer Fest. So I saw this in the store. I was like, I gotta get me some of that, and remember it being really good. So the full-grown Scalawag Imperial Stout brewed with coconut and vanilla. The Scalawag, just some facts here. Used badly, but in a amusingly mischievous rascal, batten down the hatches, ye matey. Uh, but
hmm
but yes,
I'm pretty
uh,
sure this is the one
yeah.
that my dad really likes too.
All right, but the full. I did read some of the reviews on Untapped before I hopped on, and one of the most recent ones did say that it's like exclamation points at the end. This is not a summer beer. Be warned. So
Yeah, truly.
I'm glad I'm in a cool room with a bunch of fans going off because I may break out into a sweat. So full
Yeah,
grown
right,
Scalawag from Tubbs.
right before we started recording, I was like, all right, gotta turn down the AC cooler than normal because I closed the door, and yeah, gotta get it
All
nice
right,
and cool,
let's
especially if I'm gonna drink.
get that beautiful bean footage here. Yeah, great effects. All right, Ryan, what you
So
got?
I decided to kind of do a somewhat theme since our movie is Cyborg Cop, which I don't think we even said that yet, but
No,
I
it's
did.
not. I mean, it is. It is Cyborg Cop. So
I
it's
try to
not. I said it's not.
think of something, I don't know, somewhat on theme. So I have Optimal Prime,
Ooh.
and actually it looks like Optimus Prime on here, which is pretty cool. Of course, it's a IPA dry hopped with uh actually a bunch of hops I've never even heard of. So this will be interesting. And I'm not going to read them because I can't. Kill me. But it's from Dank House Brewing Company in doesn't say where they're located, but let's see. Newport, Ohio. So
Ooh.
I'm very interested to try this. It has a 4.1 overall score, 7% ABV, 0 IBU. But of course, with the can, I was like,
Yeah,
you
you
gotta
gotta.
try
You
it.
gotta.
Yeah, I couldn't pass on that. I was like, that's so just cool. So we'll give it a shot. I've had it for a little while. Me and the wife were talking. We're like, we really need to go through all those beers that I bought. Like whenever I first moved here with
Yeah.
that subscription crate thing, I was just like, oh my gosh, like I've barely gotten a dent on it. So So have you had a sip yet? What do you think about your stout?
No, I was waiting until you talked my own. Cheers.
Oh wow.
Ooh, buddy.
This one's really good too. I could easily down that quickly. So I have to pace myself for the rest of the show. That's for sure.
It's like, it's the interesting thing is like with the coconut porters and stuff like that. Like I think one of the ones that Manhattan Brewing Project, I think it's that plutonium 236 or something like that they do with it's the coconut porter. The porter is just so much lighter that the coconut comes through like it kind of, for me, just makes the flavor not great. This, you have the roast of the stout, just kind of like the coconut just kind of complements it. It ends up tasting like a Mounds bar, which I love. So digging it so far.
Same. I'm really liking this. This is one that I would actually believe is a 0 IBU. like it's smooth, so smooth. So
nice.
All right, of course.
Not bitter at all. Not bitter at all.
No, not at all. So of course though, we'll drink this throughout the episode, and then at the end, if we remember, no promises, we will rate it and talk about it a little bit more.
So if we really like it, then we won't give it a rating.
Right. That's what tends to happen as we down it while we're still talking about the movie and totally forget because we're already done. So Anthony, what events and news do we have coming up for the DFW?
All right, so out here in the DFW area, we are looking at the end of July. That is today. Since you're reviewing this live, or if you're listening to this, it was the end of July. We're cruising into August. So being that's the case, one of the great events, in my opinion, for the year is off the calendar now. Sourfest, it's in the past. Look forward to next year. I have to remember it occurs in July because I always forget. I always think it happens either in this like late spring or early summer. It's in the mid to late summer. So noted. I will put that in my notebook there of beer events that I enjoy. But cruising on into the remainder of the week here, we have typically I skip right to the weekend, but I do have to say Thursday, August 3rd, mark it in your calendars, National IPA Day. You know how I like my IPAs. So just about everybody's got some IPA stuff going on. They have National IPA Day featuring specials on their IPA pours in the tap room. $6 IPA 6-packs to go. Wowie, wowie, wow, wow. That's pretty awesome. I'm curious. I am curious if they are going to start doing 6-packs of their Hop Unity and just kind of releasing all of the colors. It seems like it's just tailor-made for a 6-pack. That would be a great idea, in my opinion. Particularly branding on the purple can there. It just seems like the kind of thing. Tups also doing a National IPA specials on their IPAs. Panther Island Brewing also doing $7 on IPA Day this Thursday. Fort Brewing, they have it's not an IPA thing, but Fort Brewing on Thursday is also doing a tap room release of Hell's Half Lager, not an IPA, but it's a fundraiser. And so a bunch of music bingo going on at Fort Brewing, and Oak Islands, Odd News, and Siren Rock. They're all doing. Is music bingo night always Thursdays? I'm curious about that.
I guess so.
But
or they
August
just figured
4th,
this was perfect.
Yeah, August 4th is International Beer Day, so just go go celebrate International Beer Day the next day. But just going on this weekend, Saturday, we have Slushy Fest going on at 903 Brewing up in. They got commemorative glassware going on there. You know how we like to collect our glasses. Up there, the Intrinsic up in Garland, they got their 8th anniversary party. Go check them out. Get some great barbecue up there, and for your vegetarian friends too, they got great vegetarian barbecue options as well up there. It's free to attend too, so go check it out. And Tups is actually having their second annual IPA fest. I don't think they have their full-on new facility open yet. I know it's the things are working. They're working very quickly, but it's not quite there yet, unless I have missed the announcement. Nothing much going on Saturday. But further out, if you feel bad for missing the Sour Fest over at Martin House, have no fear. There is another festival going. Fest Part 2, Sweet Heat, is going on at Martin House August 19th. They are going to have a sweet and spicy Dorito beer. It's going to be the hallmark feature beer for that one. Keep an eye out for that one. Going out even a little bit further. So on the 19th is Wizard Fest over at Division. And then Eastside Denton, they have their 10-year anniversary party on September 3rd. And then just going out further, Oktoberfest in mid-September. And then as we get later, we got Beer Feast, Flying Saucer. I keep saying it, but and then the Best Little Brew Fest in Texas in Old Town Louisville. Calendar. Those are a ways out, but that stuff comes up fast. So, Brian, what's
I
going on in
concur with all
Movie
the things said. Yeah, it's me and the wife were talking not too long ago too of just like we need to really start finding and getting involved with all the beer communities around here. I think we're both kind of ready to actually start looking for something, because like we've said it in the past and we've done some meetups and gone to things off and on, but now we're like okay, now it's time, now that like we kind of are comfortable here and it actually feels like home now.
Yeah, but you plugged in with those folks out in Bend. A good start right there.
Oh yeah,
that's some intense beer culture over there. Yeah.
I don't think I'm ready for that kind of beer culture, but we'll see. All right. So we're going to talk about movies and shows. So first off, before I get into the tabs that I have open on IMDb. So Drag Race finally finished. All-Stars season
8.
7? 8?
I thought it was 8. Season 8, yeah.
It might be 8. It was a very interesting season, I have to say. A lot of mixed feelings about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like as season ends, I feel like I need to talk about it because I feel like a lot of people know that I'm a huge Drag Race fan. It kind of just felt like everybody was on their tippy toes the whole season until Heidi left, which was very disappointing.
Yeah, I was bummed about that.
And then I don't know, I kind of feel like all of a sudden it kind of clicked where I don't know, people kind of realized, in my opinion, of course, after Heidi left, that's kind of whenever everybody kind of realized like, oh, let's just have fun. Let's just let's just enjoy ourselves instead of being terrible people. So
yeah. With the season, I felt like even when Heidi was there, I felt like there was a sense of inevitability about who was going to win from day zero, and so that made it. I watched every episode of the season, but I was just like, there was no surprise to me, particularly when and spoiler alert, it was Jimbo, the drag clown, that won.
Right.
But Jimbo won like what? Out of like the first 6 challenges, Jimbo won like 3-4 of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he was obviously a favorite. It's natural for the judges to have a favorite. And so Jimbo's very good at what he does. It's not necessarily my favorite kind of drag,
right?
But I also wasn't super familiar with because I've never watched any of the international seasons. So, Jimbo, he earned it. But yeah, it's between Jimbo and Candy. Because I don't think Candy should have been in the finale. So
no, yeah, that was the talk too of just like the top should have been, in my opinion, it should have been Jimbo. It should have been Jessica, and it should have been Heidi. Like that should have been the
Yeah.
top three. Um, Jimbo, like at first, and I mean I'm the same. I haven't seen the international stuff yet, and we're kind of trying to get like done with certain services so we can stop subscribing to services to get the, I can't remember what the service is called, but they have all
Wow.
of
Yeah.
the, yeah, it's like eventually I know we'll end up getting that so we can watch all of them. But
Yeah.
so this was kind of also my introduction to Jimbo, and at first I was like, I don't know about this, but honestly, like it was fun. I think it was fun because she was having fun, and I feel
Right.
like it made it enjoyable to watch her do what she did. On top of like her oh no, I'm blanking.
Casper the Baloney Ghost.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was wild. Of course, yeah, we are just like, I don't think I'm high right now. Am I high right now? I don't think we are.
It's
Like,
quite possible.
yeah,
And was the one lip sync that Jimbo won. So
yeah, because it was just the most wild thing.
yeah.
The Snatch Game. That's what I was trying to think of. I loved her Snatch Game. I thought it was just so funny. I was laughing the whole time. But
Yeah. Oh yeah. You watch Jimbo, you'll think you're just like going nuts the entire time. Just craziness. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward
Anyways.
to the next actual season of Drag Race. They're releasing extended episodes of season 15, which has already aired. Go back and watch that over again. You can watch extended episodes, which I think they're just going to go ahead and put the post show into the main show. Maybe it's some extended shots. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we're already going through the whole series, and we have been for a while, so I think that's the only reason I'll rewatch it, is to like finish the series that we're watching. But like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm like, I already saw it. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. But
Yeah, I already know who wins. Yeah.
but I do like the regular season. I think the regular seasons are just so much more fun.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Because yeah, the queens, like they have to prove themselves. So
Yeah, for All Stars, they don't stack the. It's pretty obvious who unless you get like a real redemption story or redemption story for somebody who was eliminated early. It's like usually like, oh, this person, they almost won it last time. They're gonna win the All Star season. So
yeah. All right. So moving on, we have the Meg 2 coming out.
Jason Statham.
And did you see the first one?
I've seen parts of it on TNT.
I watched it. I was about to say I watched it in theaters, but I don't know if I actually did. But I saw the first one.
Because last week was Shark Week. They should have released it during Shark Week.
Yeah.
Just saying.
But I mean, you can't release around the same time as Barbie. Like,
it's true.
I feel like
Barbenheimer is the juggernaut right now.
Yeah. So I think that's the difficult is like they had two big movie releases that it's just like we can't release our little movie compared to theirs. So but I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the first one. It's kind of a mindless action movie. Don't expect much from it, and you'll, I think, enjoy it. Or at least I did with the first one. So I kind of go into the second one thinking that.
I feel like this movie, it's kind of like there was like the whole thing where like the asylum taking ideas from like Hollywood and like making schlocky versions of it, and I feel like it's starting to go the other way where Hollywood's starting to look at what Asylum does and making like good versions of the crap that Asylum makes. So I think this was what the Meg is, because like the Asylum makes movies like Make a Shark versus or crazy shit like that, and so now we're just getting the Meg starring Jason, Rainn Wilson, who was in the first one. I'm pretty sure he's not in the second one. I heard he dies. I'm not sure. So
we'll find out, I guess.
yeah, if he's there.
Yeah. So the next movie is Strays. Have you heard of this one?
That movie, I thought it was gonna be like a Homeward Bound, and then it took a left turn.
Yeah, so it's a rated R movie about abandoned dogs teaming up with other strays to get revenge on his former owner. Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, where'd the cast go? Harvey, I don't remember to say his last name, but he's in What We Do in the Shadows. Plays
Oh,
Guillermo.
he plays Guillermo. Yeah, I forget
Yeah.
what his last name is though.
Will
But,
Forte, Josh
yeah, Will
Gad.
Forte's the
I
owner.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so
I
good.
do remember the mission that Will Ferrell's the main character. His mission is to bite his owner's dick off, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly. Yeah.
yeah. It looks like it'll be a really good streaming movie for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'll watch this in theaters, but I do think I do want to watch it, but I'll wait for it to come out to stream.
Yeah.
Um, unless it comes out and people are like, you have to go see it. You have to go see it. I'm like,
Yeah.
all
It may
right,
be
maybe
one
I
of
will.
those. Yeah. It may end up being one of those like ones that are just like kind of the slow. And everybody's going to the theaters now because of Barbenheimer, and maybe this is one of those ones that's, oh man, you gotta go see Strays.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be another fun, like mindless kind of movie. It'll be
Yeah.
funny, mindless, some giggles here and there, but yeah. Um, next is Blue Beetle. Did you see the commercial for that?
I did not. I did. What am I saying? I did not. I did see that. There's the question right. It's part of the DCU, the new DC universe that is being run by James Gunn. It was made under the old regime, but there is every possibility that the movie character will be included in this new universe from that's going to include our new Superman, Batman, all that stuff. So we shall
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah, I'm really interested in it. The commercial looked for the trailer after we went and saw Barbie. It looked really, really good. I was kind of surprised because I don't know. I kind of been burnt out in superhero movies lately. So for me to actually watch this and be like, okay, I'll watch this. Like, this is one it looks like I might actually watch in a movie theater. Um, so I'm looking forward to that coming out. Looks like August 18th. So pretty soon, actually, surprisingly.
Yeah, it'll be our last bit of well, we have Blue Beetle, and then I think later this year we've got the Aquaman movie,
Mm-hmm.
and that's our last bit of DC content until 2025, I believe, when the Superman movie comes out.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, looking good so
Last
far.
movie.
They've cast some pretty good people in some of the supporting roles, so I'm pretty intrigued
Yeah,
by
you
what
can
James
only
Gunn is
hope.
doing there.
You
Yeah,
can only hope.
I
Yeah.
hope it turns out well. Pretty good. He's quite the auteur when it comes to these superhero movies.
Yeah, I just don't really hold my breath for Superman movies anymore because, there've been a lot of bad ones. So,
Well, we got Marvelous Mrs. Maisel's gonna be Lois Lane. Come on.
yeah. Hey, you know what? The Mrs. Marvels or something like that. I can't remember what the commercial was. I don't have it up here.
The
But anyways,
Marvel. Yeah, it comes out like in a few months. Yeah.
yeah, that looks really fun too.
Yeah.
But the last one we're going to talk about today is Gran Turismo.
This one's interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting. Of course, this is based off of the video game, and based off apparently of a true story.
Yeah. So it's based off of a video, based off a contest based on the video game.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I'm not gonna see this. I have not really one interest in seeing this, but I think it's a very interesting concept, and I think it looks like it might be done very well.
Yeah.
So again, like if this comes on to streaming and I'm bored one day and I just need to throw something on, maybe I'll put this on. Um, but I mean, this isn't the type of movie like they didn't make this movie thinking this guy is a part of like our what we're reaching for.
Yeah.
But I think it looks like, I mean, the graphics and the heavy hitter actors. So I don't know. It might end up being a good movie.
Yeah, it seems like it's really a dramatization of a documentary, is what it looks like, because it's about
Yeah.
a contest that they held surrounding the like it was like inviting the best Gran Turismo players to join the some racing team, and so this guy won, and we get to learn about how he proceeded to become a race car driver, which
Yeah.
he is stories about is in the movie because he's a stunt driver for the movie. So, which I found.
Huh. I mean, I guess that makes sense though.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for now. And I guess it means it is time to move on to the actual movie that we are talking about this week, which is Cyborg Cop 1993. That was the year, of course. I said it where it sounds like the name of the movie is Cyborg Cop 1993, which is not. But
This movie's 30 years old, dude.
yeah. It looks
Seems
a lot
older
older
than
than that. All right, you want to do the synopsis and we'll talk about this because my oh my.
Okay, so let's give the summary here. So, and we'll rate accuracy afterwards. All right. XDEA Agent Jack, just Agent Jack, leaves an emergency message from his brother Philip, whose team was ambushed on the Caribbean island of St. Keith. Goes back to St. Keith to find his brother, who has turned into a cyborg by the drug runner he was after. Okay, is there a better? No, there is no other written plot
I
there.
mean, it's not too far off, honestly. So
I was the Turner for me there in the course of things there, but yeah,
yeah.
so it's close enough. But yeah, XDEA Agent Jack. Okay, character name because I gotta because I can't just say his name.
Isn't
is
it
Agent
Jack Ryan?
Is it Jack Ryan? It is Jack
Yeah.
Ryan. Oh yeah, because I thought that was so weird because his name is Jack Ryan and that's the Tom Clancy character, Jack Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his brother Philip. 80s Double Dragon Bros is what they look like. They're like karate. They're like karate DEA agents, and like Jack is like this no nonsense but like really pissy guy who breaks the rules. Kicked out of the DEA because he shoots a crazy guy who happens to be the son of somebody from a newspaper company, and his brother stays in and he gets kidnapped by Gimli from, and then he becomes a cyborg, but at the very end of the movie, and there's just so little cyborg.
I mean, yes and no. The henchman.
I'm sorry. There's so little cyborg cop for a movie called Cyborg Cop. Let me get that. There is cyborg.
Yeah.
Cyborg cop is like that much.
Yeah, but even the cyborg henchmen, there's not many of them. So
I think you could technically argue, except for the fact that the cyborg is dressed like a cop, there's actually zero cyborg cop because the guy's a DEA agent.
yeah. Okay, so I just want to say this because I'm pretty sure I was paying attention, but did it not make sense? Did like throughout the movie you're just thinking this just doesn't make sense? Like why? Like I don't know. It just things just didn't add up in my mind while watching this.
So I think I started. It didn't make sense to me either, but I started kind of piecing things together towards the end as to why certain people are doing things in a certain way. But you had it's like, yeah, Jack, his brother got captured. He was told that he got captured by his boss, former boss Callahan. which of course his name is Callahan, right?
Of course.
Or Callan,
Callahan's.
Callan, who's like his
Whatever.
DEA lead, whatever. Um, you have the bad guy played by John Rhys Davies, who's like the most well-known. He's like, you could know him from the Indiana Jones movies. He was in basically every single one of those. He was actually in the most recent one too. He was Gimli the dwarf in Lord of the Rings trilogy. He was the Doctor in Sliders. That's what I knew him from before I realized he was in all those other movies that I love. But he's playing this like Moreau-esque like mad scientist wanting to turn people into cyborgs that sell it to the highest bidder, and I think they want to sell him to these guys who want to overthrow the president of this tiny little Caribbean nation. Anyways, but yeah, there's intrigue, there's drama. Oops, it's like okay, which
Yeah.
those were like just like hello, we're doing that now in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
The sex scene was just like okay.
And their story is like what was so frustrating too. The brother Philip and the reporter Kathy.
Yeah.
That was the most wild. It just nothing about it made any sense. You didn't know why they were just so angry at each other, and then
the reason he didn't like Kathy is because he was mad at the newspaper back wherever they lived, and she
yeah,
worked for that same newspaper.
but like, don't take it out on Kathy. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like,
literally with her pants down.
yeah, and I don't know, just like they all of a sudden going from like hating each other's guts to falling in love, but like, and it happened in like a split second too. They were just mad, and all of a sudden he wakes into some place that they're sharing and they're in love.
Yeah, I think I think it was like one of those things where they were trying to go for like in a very quick succession was kind of like that solo Princess Leia thing where they initially hate they like initially they don't necessarily hate each other, they just don't like each other, they don't get along, but that like leads to them like ending up like liking each other because of their mutual like hatred of each other. It's like that moonlighting, Star Wars, Han Solo, Princess Leia thing, where it's just like they dislike each other so much that they just become attracted to each other because of how much they dislike each other. It's very, very dysfunctional relationship stuff. And it's interesting, the progression of the relationship goes so fast. They go from not knowing each other to knowing each other and hating each other to then staying in a hotel room together and tolerating each other to then doing the nasty together to then
yeah, it happened.
Quite the jump.
I don't know. It still bugs me because it's just like that's not how things work. Like, I mean, I don't know how things work, but I know that doesn't work. So,
yeah.
And just okay. So, why was Jack Ryan like? What made him actually just go over there? Because it seemed like it was very just like I'm just gonna go do this. Like,
so that leads me into my next thing that I thought was really insane about this movie, or at least the vibe that I was getting from this movie. So first of all, he like got the thing in the little log, the little tape or whatever from his brother, kind of saying, "Hey, if you get something happen, I'm blah blah blah." But he's like, take care of this kid that I'm looking to adopt. And the impression I got, so Jack's like a kind of guy who's like hard boozing. He's like living a little bit rough since he got. But I'm like 90% convinced that the reason he went to go brother is so he didn't have to watch this kid. And so like the main purpose in him going to rescue his brother from this like sleepy but overly corrupt island in the middle of the Caribbean is that he didn't want to adopt a poor kid.
yeah,
that his brother was keeping an eye on. He didn't want to be on the hook for this, and so and risked his life fighting cyborgs so he didn't have to adopt a kid who he adopt anyways.
What about Jack Ryan? What was his? So he was just going over there to stop drugs.
When there to rescue his brother.
No. That's Philip.
No, Philip's the guy. Philip's the guy that went to go stop drugs.
Oh gosh, I'm getting
Yeah,
all
because he
mixed
was
up in
on a
my head.
DEA agent mission. They were like on a secret
Oh yeah,
mission
yeah,
with the
yeah.
DEA. Yeah,
You're right. Okay. So yeah. So Philip went there to stop the drug lord.
stop Kessel. Yeah,
Just cause.
because that's what the government told him to do, or that's what his boss told him to do.
So but he has like zero, like, that doesn't make sense. Can the DEA just decide to go wherever they want to stop drugs?
It's the '90s, I guess so.
Like, I don't think we can do that, but okay. Anyways.
As the U.S. Come on.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. What else do you got for us, or do we want to move on to likes and dislikes?
Oh, we can get into likes and dislikes.
All right. So let's get into the dislikes first. Okay. So besides a lot of confusion and things not making sense, since we already talked about that, um, let's talk about the acting here. So my biggest dislike is they were all really bad actors.
Not all, in my opinion,
I mean,
yeah.
there was a few that, yeah, they did a fine job. I don't think there was anybody be like, oh man, they did a great job. I think we had fine jobs and we had bad jobs. The cyborg people were terrible. Like, you didn't know. It just didn't make sense. I think it kind of comes down to the acting on top of the writing and the script. So I get, I'm not gonna just bash the actors, but it's a mixture of both. I understand. So I think that's my biggest problem, was just like, because I feel like we've watched movies where the movie itself really sucked, but the actors really pulled it out, even though the script was terrible. So it's just like, in here, it was just almost everything about it was just rough to get through. Didn't make sense, on top of terrible, like, just overall terrible acting and writing. It's just like,
yeah, it's like in a movie like this. It's rough because like you could tell that they want to make it work. Like some of these guys, it's like, this is my big, like, it's like I want to make this movie work. And because then you're like, because like, I'm not sure how much of anything David Bradley has been on. I know there's a couple sequels for this movie here. But
looks like he's in quite a bit of movies.
Yeah, like he did a lot of '90s. American Ninja 3, Blood Hunt. But he was in Cyborg Cop 2. He was in Cyborg Cop 3. Yeah. But anyways, but like you can see a lot of these actors here, like a lot are like just working actors, and their main thing is like action movies and stuff like that. But you see, like, you get in this movie and you work with a known presence like a John Rhys Davies. He may not be may not be an A-lister, but he's like a well-known working actor. And so you're like, maybe I can kind of like leverage myself off of like and perform well against this guy, and maybe he can put in a good word for me with somebody else. Like it's like when we watched that one movie with Nick Cage where they had to fight the alien. That was it Jiu-Jitsu. And so like it's like,
yeah,
maybe like you're great at it's like, yeah man, you're great at the fight scene, you're great at the stunt work, but maybe talking's not your strong suit when it comes to this, and I feel like I picked up the surly stuff, but like everything else, like with like Jack, Philip as a zombie cyborg DEA agent was, I don't know. It wasn't awesome. What was the other guy's name who was the cyborg? Rufus Swart, who is also known for Space Mutiny and MST3K staple. He was just constipated the entire time, but he didn't have much to work with. He didn't talk.
Yeah.
His jaw was a little constipated, and so
Hey,
I don't know.
listen, we've seen Nicolas Cage do a whole movie without talking, and it was one of my favorites. So that's
It was
no
one of his
excuse
best
anymore.
movies. Yeah, it's like that's like the benchmark for like just like almost like mime acting, you know, even
Yeah.
with like other people talking to you, and he like communicated very well his whole deal. So, but yeah,
But
I agree with you. The acting for the most part was not wonderful. I do think John Rhys Davies though like chewed the scenery so hard. He kind of like on the acting portion, he carried that movie. He was the consummate evil bad guy asshole. Like there was a whole thing where one of his lead henchman like shot he like told him to take care of this guy. I was like one of the guards, and he just like the dude just shot him in the hallway. Came back, he's like, I just got that painted. It's like that's like the awesome, like I was like, that's what I wanted to hear the bad guy say. It's like, dude, I told you to take care of him. I didn't tell him to like shoot him right here. It's like I just got this place cleaned. So
yeah, no, I thought he was a good bad guy. Still,
yeah.
not his best work, but yeah.
Well, no,
Anyways.
but yeah.
So all right. So is that also the thing you dislike, or do you have something else?
That's like the main thing. The kid wasn't terrible either, I guess. The little bit we saw him, he was like your dorky little or type character there. You had to. It gave you a little bit of an extra thing to pull at your heartstrings because not only were you worried about the brother, you're also worried about this little kid and what's going to happen to him. And I feel bad that he's stuck with Jack Ryan, who, I mean, the guy's still an asshole at the end of the show. It's just that now he's taking care of this kid because his brother is a dead robot now.
Yeah. All right. So the things that we liked. So this is kind of honestly, it sounds like I'm just saying the opposite, but so the one-liners and the silly little things that they threw in there actually made me laugh. And I think it's because I was so desperate for anything to happen that would interest me. So throwing like the one-liners of the whole like I just painted that, and just like the fighting between Jack and Kathy, you know, just like the little things that were said that like I actually caught myself laughing out loud thinking, why am I laughing at this though? It's such a bad movie. But again, like it's so bad that you're anything positive happens and you like it, I guess. But
hey, this movie's a lot of things, but it's not boring, I'll tell you that much.
It's not. It's a little dull, but I paid attention, which for a movie normally like this, I definitely wouldn't. I would easily lose interest in it. But I think I was also so busy trying to figure out, like, trying to make sense of a lot of stuff where I was just like, what? So like I'm paying attention to see like okay, maybe it'll actually like come to me of like, oh, okay, this explains it. But anyways, so that's my positive thing. The thing that I liked about this movie is I thought the silly one-liners were top notch.
Classic late 80s, early 90s action movie shtick there. You gotta have those there. So two things, one tiny thing and one main thing. The one tiny thing I really like in the beginning is it's like the beginning was like a classic of like fashion, like just like everyday fashion, like the night, or at least everybody's idea of everyday fashion in the late 80s, early 90s. Guys wearing like the skinny jeans, the fanny packs, the hats, like baseball caps that have like the little like lanyard. And they were running around in the shootout with the crazy newspaper man dude. And so I thought that was just a really interesting thing. Their midriffs, you know, as they were running around there, which I think we got that later anyways, just not in that scene because they were working, their shirts were tucked in. They had to be professional. Yeah, but they were wearing fanny packs, which I did think was funny. thing I think that was really well done here was a lot of the stunt movie was actually pretty good. And now I'm not talking about fighting the cyborg, although cyborgs. This is pre-Terminator. Was it pre? When did Terminator come out? The first Terminator.
I don't know. Let's see.
I can't remember. You looked that up. So right after or right before the first Terminator movie came out, the wonky, like stiff robot age here. Terminator came out in '92. No.
84.
80, that first Terminator?
No.
So,
yeah.
Okay. Wow. My Terminator 2.
I didn't think it was that old though.
Yeah. The first I'm thinking of T2 is when we finally started getting like smooth, like moving, like the T1000 when we had that liquid metal robot. But like we went from like this Arnold Schwarzenegger to like the more loosey goosey robots. Stiff Terminator age here. I think, yeah, it's like gonna be a robot, and
beep boop beep boop boop.
Yeah, but the effects weren't awesome. The guy was obviously wearing a sleeve. It's something I would wear for Halloween to make it look like my skin was a robot, but it wasn't actually. But I thought like a lot of the driving stuff, like when the guy like ran away from like the checkpoint, and when they were trying to capture him, some good work there. The stunt work with like Kathy, like just kind of tumbling around in the back of the truck, or the whatever the hell he was driving the entire time. It was funny, and it was like action packed, and a lot of the hand-to-hand fight scenes were again not the ones with the robots, but a lot of the other cool. So I thought that a lot of the stunt work was pretty good. There's only one thing I wish they had done better in the.
What's that?
I feel like the dude that worked in the
oh yeah,
guy.
Yeah, I could see that. Just
Like
anybody. More anybody.
Yeah, he would have been like a great like kind of side character. It's kind of like in Die Hard with a Vengeance when Samuel L. Jackson's character, he's just like attacked, gets kind of roped into this whole thing. Like just having a guy who works in the morgue kind of get roped into this whole thing where he's trying to rescue his brother from robots. He's like, he just give you like a character of just like a normal dude who's not used to this, and then he's just like fighting robots. He's like, that would be great. The sex scene would have been weird though, so
yeah, that would have been awkward.
It would have been out of nowhere.
Definitely not the weirdest thing that we've seen, but So we are on Letterboxd. Make sure you follow us over there at Let's Do a Podcast. That's now where we rate and track all the movies that we have watched. So with that said, how would you rate this movie 1 to 5?
So I have to ask, watch this movie again, and I think the answer is maybe. It's definitely not a no. I would sit down and watch this with. Well, I probably wouldn't watch this again by myself. So it's a very middle of the road movie to me. I have to put it down as a 3. Curious that I might watch the sequels. Maybe part of the podcast, maybe not. The 3 for me.
So I would not watch this. Even if I had other people around, I would almost pick something else. I don't think I would even recommend this as just something to throw on in the background. I was thinking a 1 for me. So we'll split it and put it as a 2.
2.
It was, even though the one-liners were there, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it at all. I just couldn't. Yes. I had the feeling, especially knowing that we were going to watch this through Tubi, and our luck has been very bad through Tubi. But I mean, again, each to their own. So if you watch this movie and you agree or disagree with anything and everything, let us know. I'm really interested to know what people think about this one, because wow, oh wow, what a ride. So, with that all done, Anthony, have you finished your beer?
I have just let's
Yeah.
see here.
See, well, hey, you have more than I have more than you. So
I'm
go
done.
ahead, talk about it a little bit and give it a rating for us.
So as always, I'll just kind of talk about what happens with the beer as you let it as it sits and kind of like starts warming up a little bit. As always with a stout, it kind of gets a little bit, it kind of thickens up a little bit, gets a little bit of like a more of that stickiness in there,
Yeah.
but it makes it a little more sweet, I think, as it starts getting a little bit warmer. So I wouldn't let it sit too long out if this is something you're drinking, and make sure it's fully chilled. Mine was not fully chilled when I got mine out, so all that being said, great flavor. The roastiness is really good. Nut flavor. It's basically like drinking like a liquid Mounds. So if that's the kind of thing you like, I really recommend it. It's pretty.
All right. So mine was the Optimal Prime. Um, it was really good, really cold. I feel like the warmer it got, the more it became kind of an okay beer. Oh, you didn't even rate yours. I'm sorry. I think I interrupted.
No, I forgot. So
Okay.
mine's a 4.2.
Okay. Um, I didn't really care for it as it became room temperature. I was like, meh. I mean, it, especially just like you open it cold, you get that first sip, and it's just like, man, that's really good. But that's definitely one that you have to kind of drink faster. So
Mm-hmm.
it's on the chillier side. Um, so I would put this at a 2.5, just because, like, I think if it stayed where it was, I would do a 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
But it really brings it down a lot for me if it starts really high and then it goes to it's okay. I don't think I would have the beer again. Like
Yeah.
it's such an extreme difference. It's hard to give it anything besides that. So 2.5 for that. If someone brought it over, hell yeah, I would drink it. But I'm not gonna buy it again.
Well, free beer gets rated on a different scale.
Yes. Oh yeah. Free beer is always a 10. I know
Yeah.
it only goes up to 5, but it's a 10. Unless I guess not always. There are limits.
Yeah.
We've had some pretty bad beer.
Yeah, there
Um,
is. Yeah, it's like somebody brings over some Molson. Are you?
I'll give it a shot. That's for sure. I never say no to trying a beer. That's for sure.
Oh,
All
back to
right.
the movie Random Factoid. Rasta Man that was in the morgue. He was. He's got a bunch of credits that I don't know anything about, but he was the supervising producer for Big Brother, the original version in Europe. So, go with that guy.
Who knew? Um. So, thing of the week, Anthony. Do you have something, or should I go? Okay.
I do have something.
All right, go for it.
So I've been getting into my karaoke era. It's been my thing. So I'm also doing the era thing, by the way. So Azilla Brooks has been an influence on me from the one of the more recent seasons of Drag Race. But I've been in my karaoke era, and so my thing of the week is karaoke. I used to sing all the time when I was younger, nearly as good as I was when I was a kid, but I have songs just like everybody else. I like music. Who doesn't like me? But I've got a few songs that I have in my repertoire. I have a few that I think I can sing. There's nothing more humbling than thinking you can sing a song and then you go in front of a bunch of people and you realize you can't sing that song. But there is nothing like the nervousness of getting in front of a bunch of people and just kind of like putting it on the line, and just kind of singing. So it's kind of fun. Did a karaoke room with a few folks there a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm got the itch. I want to do it again. So yeah, recommend it. If they a terrible singer, just do it. That's like some of the most fun is when somebody's just like a bad singer. You know, it's like just get up there, enjoy it, enjoy your time up there. Don't worry about what. Just like sing a song that you like. You know, whether it's the national or like or what have you. So that's my thing of the week. Do some karaoke. It's fun times.
Oof. I have always wanted to try it, but I'm always just so frightened to do it. So
the best thing you can do, it's doing the first one's like ripping a band-aid off, but just first thing you do is find a song that you know, and sing it without the words, like in your car by yourself. And once you know that you can sing it without like the lyrics, you're usually gonna be pretty good from there. So
oh yeah, and I mean, to me it's not the lyrics part, because I know a lot of songs by heart. It's the singing itself part that's very frightening.
yeah. So I will say, a technique I've seen is some people will do songs that they know people will sing along with, and so when they're like, all right, I don't want to sing anymore, they'll do the thing where they point the mic at the crowd, and people will sing to a mic that's held out to them at the crowd. And
Yeah.
So that always works too.
I could see that.
Yeah.
One day maybe. But all right. So my thing of the week is I've been really itching for a new game to play.
And there's an ointment for that.
Yeah, I've tried them all. Tried all the ointments. Nothing was curing that itch. But I downloaded a bunch of free games and I was just like, man, nothing's really doing it. And then I saw the game Spider-Man. What's it called? Spider-Man Remastered. And I was like, man, I used to love Spider-Man games, like the old school ones where it's kind of somewhat open world. So I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. I'm having a blast with it.
Nice.
I've already played so much of it. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's kind of a fun, mindless game to put on because I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just like, you know what? I kind of want to play something mindless, something that I don't really have to put a lot of effort into. So I tried it and I'm enjoying it. And there's a bunch of games coming out that I've seen that are like, okay, maybe I'll actually start getting into gaming again because I stopped for such a long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I suggest, I guess my thing of the week is find a game that you're interested in playing and just give it a shot because you never know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Ones that I want to try that I haven't had a chance to try yet. There's one called Outer Wilds, not Outer Worlds, but Outer Wilds. I don't know much about this game except that it's like involves travel stuff. Again, not Outer Worlds.
Yes.
But Outer Wilds. But nobody talks much about the game because they don't want to spoil it. Because apparently it's like nobody wants to spoil. So Outer Wilds is one I've heard recommended a lot. And there's another one called Pineapple Pizza. That's kind of like a really short game that I think it's like $1 on Steam that I've heard people recommend as well. That seems pretty fun.
Huh, I've never heard of the Pineapple Pizza one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Outer Wilds, I've seen people play that and it looks so much fun. It looks very frustrating, but looks very fun at the same time.
Yeah.
So, but all right. You got anything else for us, Anthony? Or are we done?
I am good.
All right. So
this non-summer beer is making me sleepy.
Yeah. So with that said, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. You can check us out, of course, anywhere you listen to podcasts, and apparently live. This is what we're finding out now. So we'll be more prepared. Yeah, we'll be more prepared for a live show next recording, whenever that will be. And so you can listen to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on Twitch at Let's Twitch a Podcast. YouTube, Let's Do a Podcast 22. Facebook is Let's Do a Podcast. And if you can't find us, if you're looking for us, or you listen to podcast and you can't find us, let us know. We'll add it there.
It's like I want to hear from everybody out there. Should we get a Threads and or an X account?
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah. If you think we should get a Threads or X, shoot us now, but whatever.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, we might be just as active on those as we are on our media channel. Who knows?
Which our most active is our Facebook, because we post videos on there and go live now. So if there's a beer you want us to try, let us know, or a movie to watch. Maybe we'll watch it. Actually, we'll probably watch it. If you suggest it, we'll watch it. So
yeah.
And I guess that's it. So besides that, thank you everybody so much for hanging out with us. I guess we raid now on Twitch. So if you're a follower and you're watching us on Twitch, we're taking you somewhere else. And besides that, I'm Ryan.
I'm Anthony.
And let's end a podcast. Okay, bye.
Peace.
It says stopping, but it's not stopping.